Exploring the woods and Pleasant View make a discovery unlike anything they ever expected.
For a long time, humans' curiosity and passion for exploring the inconspicuous has led them on different expeditions into the most unlikely places. A noteworthy example of such places are mysterious caves. Caves have long been a source of fascination for their possible danger and potential to reveal unexpected secrets. Shrouded in the darkness of the Earth's rocky pockets is a world of mystery waiting to be unearthed. Despite numerous discoveries, the reserve of mystery stored in caves is yet to be exhausted. Journey with us till the end as we explore 15 remarkable discoveries from cave exploration spanning archaeology, history, and the unexplained. Number 15. Refrigerated fossils. Reindeer herders on a Siberian island made a surprising discovery when they encountered the frozen remains of a cave bear in a thawing permafrost. This marks the initial instance in 15,000 years that humans have directly encountered a live cave bear. Before this, our knowledge of the species was limited to fossils, footprints, and abandoned nests. The Bolshoy Lyakhovsky bear has been preserved in an anoxic deep freeze for 22,000 to 40,000 years. As a result, its muscles, skin, fur, and organs remain remarkably intact, even down to the tips of their noses, a natural mummification. The perceived quality of the cave bear remains is a remarkable feat of nature. It allows us to observe the physical appearance of a fully fleshed and furry cave bear. Also, it represents a valuable source of information about various aspects of the bear's life in prehistoric times. Number 14. Baby dragons. Creatures with pale, nearly translucent skin, striking red tufts, concealed eyes, 4 limbs, and only 10 digits have long captured the imagination. Could they be the offspring of dragons? The unique appearance of olms has intrigued people for centuries. The earliest written records of these beings, believed by some to be the progeny of a fearsome cave dragon within Postojna cave, trace back to the 17th century. The strange baby dragons sparked interest in both locals and scientists. In the 18th century, biologists competed to be the first to identify a new animal species from Postojna cave. Giovanni Antonio Scopoli was the first to capture them, and they were scientifically named Proteus anguinus, also known as olms. Olms look strange with their long, snake-like bodies, pale pink skin almost see-through, and tiny legs with a few digits. They move like snakes in the water and breathe through gills and small lungs. Despite having no eyes, they can sense their surroundings through their skin and are sensitive to light. They can survive without food for up to 12 years and live up to 100 years. Number 13. The claustrophobic rescue. This is the story of a passionate cave explorer in Kentucky. While exploring Sand Cave, Floyd Collins became trapped deep underground when a rock pinned his leg. The incident occurred on an unusually warm January morning, with icicles hanging from the cave's mouth. For weeks, the 37-year-old spent arduous hours each day trying to clear the narrow passage beneath him, filled with gravel, sandstone, and limestone. His dedication to exploration and discovery was his norm. However, on this fateful day, his exploration took a dangerous turn. As news of his predicament spread, a massive rescue operation unfolded, drawing national attention. Rescuers worked tirelessly, drilling shafts and tunnels, desperately trying to reach Collins. Trapped alone in the darkness, he survived by eating roots and drinking water that seeped through the cave's cracks. Tragically, Collins succumbed to hypothermia and exposure before rescuers could reach him, marking a heartbreaking end to a gripping story of human endurance and the relentless pursuit of exploration. This harrowing experience underscores the dangers of cave exploration. Number 12. The Bushman's Hole, the Diver's Grave. The deep freshwater cave in South Africa's Northern Cape region has seen a tragic history of claiming the lives of numerous cave divers over the years. This mysterious cavern, Bushman's Hole, offers a remarkable experience to those who dare to venture inside. Upon hiking down the crater to its center, visitors encounter a seemingly modest water basin resembling an oversized puddle. However, this unassuming entrance leads to one of the world's largest freshwater caves, measuring 393 feet in length, 328 feet in width, and an astonishing 927 feet in depth. Regrettably, Deon Dreyer, a passionate scuba diver hailing from South Africa, met a tragic fate while exploring the depths of Bushman's Hole. Dayon Dreyer's body was stuck at the bottom of a very deep underwater hole for years. Then, a lucky discovery led to a plan to get his body back. But something very sad happened when an experienced diver named Dave Shaw tried to get Dion's body. Dave Shaw also passed away during the rescue attempt. They found out later that Dave had trouble breathing because of the high pressure deep underwater. This tragic event highlights the dangers of subaquatic cave exploration. Number 11. Underwater labyrinths of the Maya researchers have made an astounding discovery, unearthing the world's longest underwater tunnel, a vast 215.6-mile cave beneath Mexico. This remarkable find houses an array of perfectly preserved Mayan artifacts and long-extinct wildlife, marking it as one of the most significant archaeological breakthroughs of the century. The cave links two of the world's largest submerged chambers, Sac Actun and Dos Ojos in Tulum, Quintana Roo, surpassing the previous record holder, Oxbel-Ha, in the same region, which spans 168 miles. The remarkable discovery was spearheaded by the Gran Acuífero Maya Research Unit, which dedicated 2 decades to exploring the interconnected caverns. Their mission aimed to establish a connection between these two underwater wonders within these tunnels. During dives into these underwater caves, researchers have unearthed more than 100 fascinating artifacts. These treasures include remnants of ancient fauna, ceramics, everyday objects, and Mayan burials. Even partially submerged and dry areas within the caves have revealed ancient structures, staircases, and intricate wall paintings. These findings hint at the possibility of an underground civilization that once inhabited these caverns. The question is, what compelled them to venture into this underground world? The mystery remains, but gives us a glimpse into Maya beliefs and burial practices. Number 10. Mount Rushmore's Secret Room. The Halloween of October 1941 saw the completion of a decade-long effort to carve 16-foot-tall faces of the Founding Fathers on Mount Rushmore in South Dakota. The auspicious day might hold some meaning, as there is more to this cave than meets the eye. Just behind Abraham Lincoln's iconic sculpture on Mount Rushmore, an inconspicuous secret room was intended. Sculptor Gutzon Borglum embarked on the creation of this cavern, the Hall of Records, to house treasured American artifacts and documents, acting as a time capsule for future civilizations. At the hall's entrance, there were initial plans to place a 12-meter, 38-foot bronze eagle above the door, accompanied by the inscription, "America's Onward March." The Grand Chamber accommodated glass display cases containing significant historical documents such as the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence. Unfortunately, these plans were never realized. After Borglum's passing in 1941, the decision was made to abandon further work before the chamber could be completed, and the sculpture was officially declared finished in the same year. While the room remains empty, its existence raises questions about the intended message behind this iconic monument and the grandeur of what could have been. Number 9. Stone Age Surgery. Imagining surgeries with stone tools will be a gory sight to behold, but a recent discovery lurking in the darkness of a remote cave has the potential to change our preconceived notions of the intelligence and precision of our forefathers. In the Liang Tibo Cave in Borneo, Indonesia, a groundbreaking archaeological discovery challenges our understanding of the Stone Age, the remains of an individual who lived 31,000 years ago despite having undergone an amputation. The skeleton of this young individual was notably missing its lower left leg, a precision amputation believed to have been performed by a remarkably skilled prehistoric surgeon, likely utilizing stone tools. Just a century ago, most of those undergoing amputations would have faced grim prospects, succumbing to severe blood loss, shock, or subsequent infections. Remarkably, not only did this Stone Age surgical procedure prove successful, but the amputee went on to live another 6 to 9 years, ultimately passing away from natural causes. They were then respectfully in eternal rest, marking a fascinating insight into ancient practices. Number 8. The Altamura Popcorn Man. Altamura Man is one of the most remarkably intact Neanderthal skeletons ever discovered, lay concealed within a sinkhole near the town of Altamura in southern Italy. By analyzing the DNA extracted from bones protruding from the limestone rock, scientists established that he had fallen into the sinkhole approximately 150,000 years ago. Trapped in the narrow confines, likely suffering injuries, he is believed to have died of starvation. Over thousands of years, his body decayed, and the remaining bones gradually merged with the stalactites formed by water dripping down the cave walls, giving the visual impression of a skeleton made out of popcorn. Examination of the exposed bones indicated they belonged to an adult male. Number 7. The Belize basilisk. With years of exposure to diverse wildlife, Carlos Hernandez thought there was nothing more to see. On the morning of the 30th of March 2019, out preparing for a tour on a river just a few yards from a subaquatic cave, he stumbled upon a bone-chilling sight, a 33-foot-long enormous anaconda. The size of this snake was unlike anything he had ever seen in all his years of being on a jungle tour. The creature might have been more at home in a fantasy film like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, but lying out in a jungle lodge is very unexpected. He mentions that his body prompted him to flee the scene, but he remained paralyzed and fixed on the spot until the serpent's gaze broke him from the trance and prompted him to run for cover in his lodge. Most snakes can unhinge their jaws to consume prey larger than themselves. Imagine what such a behemoth could devour. Astonishingly, the serpent remained calm, not attacking him. The discovery was unprecedented despite it being in a jungle lodge. However, the lodge is surrounded by nature. Man-eating snakes aren't part of the fauna highlighted in the lodge's brochures. Number 6. The Avon Cave Boneyard. In Madagascar, an astonishing underwater discovery has been made within a cave, a submerged graveyard teeming with the remains of exotic prehistoric creatures such as the elephant bird and extinct giant lemurs of different species, some as large as gorillas. Divers exploring the flooded inland caves along the west coast of Madagascar unearthed hundreds of fossilized bones and primitive primate skeletons. These exceptionally preserved fossils are estimated to be around 4,000 years old. The scientists leading the investigation speculate that the soft silt at the cave's bottom may hold the remains of thousands of these ancient lemurs. Among the remarkable findings in the cave's depths was a skull measuring a foot in length, belonging to a lemur species that matched the weight of a female gorilla, tipping the scales at 165 pounds. Scientists are puzzled at this discovery contained in the cave because many of the species no longer exist. Even more puzzling is the possibility of how these different types of animals ended up in one spot. Professor Alfred Rosenberger, who is in charge of the fossil recovery, mentioned that this discovery is unprecedented, with a huge number of fossils all gathered in one place. Bone by bone, he hopes, the fossils will give a clear glimpse of how the extinction occurred and illuminate Madagascar's lost world. Number 5. Witch marks of Creswell Crags. During a cave tour of the Creswell Crags in 2019, underground and cave enthusiasts Haley and Ed discovered some strange markings on the wall. Their keen eye observed the markings closely and concluded they were not random strokes. This prompted the tour leader to take an interest in the markings, and the rest was history. These markings, believed from the 17th and 18th century, were incomprehensible strokes and slashes inscribed on a limestone gorge. Before this discovery, the marks had always been noticed, but have been paid no mind as they had been dismissed as vandal acts from before the caves were closed off from the public. The apotropaic marks were inscribed into the cave as they were considered a frontier in vending off evil spirits from the underworld, through the caves, to this realm. Number 4. The secret tunnels of Hellfire caves. If you're a fan of fictional movies, you might find this surprise a bit familiar. The Hellfire caves in Buckinghamshire, England are a complex system of man-made chalk and flint caverns. It featured various chambers, including a banquet hall and the inner temple, reached via the river Styx. They became a popular landmark because of their association with the Hellfire Club. This club prides itself on the membership of influential members of society, including nobility and politicians. There have been numerous urban tales that speculate that these subterranean chambers beneath West Wycombe were once the site of pagan rituals, orgies, and black magic. However, stories of occult activities remain unconfirmed. The caves remain where the lines between fact and folklore are blurred, making it challenging to unravel the truth from the tales. The caves are now open to the public and a tourist attraction. Number 3. Secret Freemasons' Hideout. Malheur Cave is a mysterious lava tube cave once owned by the Masonic Lodge of Burns in the remote southeastern corner of Oregon. This cavernous underground space was the site of annual Masonic gatherings for decades, fueling intrigue and speculation among conspiracy theorists. Let's explore the history of this cave and uncover the secrets it may hold. Malheur Cave has earned a Malheur Cave, a big cave in Oregon, about 3,000 feet long. A long time ago, early settlers and other groups used it. It wasn't long before some people from a group called the Robert Burns Masonic Lodge had the idea to have a meeting for their group inside this cave. Masons from all over the country met in this cave in Oregon for years. Some thought it was creepy, leading to rumors like Native Americans thinking it led to the underworld. Some even believed in wild ideas like satanic rituals and secret tunnels connecting caves used by Freemasons. While the truth behind these stories remains unclear, there's no denying that. Malheur Cave is undeniably one of Oregon's spookiest places. Masonic activities have ceased here since October 2019. Number 2. The Screaming Mummy. In Egypt, French explorers stumbled upon a shocking find in a cave, a strange, screaming mummy with an expression of agony frozen on its face. Questions arose immediately. Why did the mummy have such an expression? Did the person suffer a painful death? The mummy's burial raised more questions. It lay in a plain cedar coffin, its mouth agape, hands bound behind its back, and was wrapped in goat skin. Considered uncommon and unclean, it defied ancient Egypt's burial norms. DNA analysis suggested the mummy belonged to a prince executed for conspiring to murder Pharaoh Ramses III, but the execution's nature remains a haunting mystery. He was the son of King Ramses III and met a gruesome fate. Speculation suggests that he was forced to take his own life by hanging. This punishment resulted from his involvement in the harem plot, which resulted in the murder of his father. Prince Pentaware's unique treatment in death was marked by his body being left without mummification and wrapped in sheepskin, a clear sign of his perceived impurity and condemnation to the afterlife. In stark contrast, other mummies were meticulously wrapped in white linen and prepared for the journey to the next world. Number 1. The Hidden Knights Templar Caves. A seemingly ordinary rabbit hole discovered in a farmer's field is a portal to an underground sanctuary believed to have been used by religious sects. Appearances can be deceiving, and the unassuming hole leads to a man-made cavern, housing a series of caves known as the Canton Caves. The Canton Caves near Shifnal in Shropshire have long been associated with local folklore, suggesting Knights Templar followers used them in the 17th century. These underground chambers, found less than a meter below the surface, have remarkably retained their structural integrity. While the cave's original purpose remains mysterious, historic England characterizes them as a grotto. It suggests they were most likely constructed in the late 18th or early 19th century, a significant period after the dissolution of the Templar Order. According to a report, the cave was described as fairly tight, requiring individuals close to 6 feet tall to stoop to fit inside. Certain chambers are so cramped that explorers must crawl on their hands and knees to enter them. These caves have allegedly been utilized for contemporary black magic rituals by visitors. It was reported that the caves were sealed off in 2012 to deter both vandals and practitioners of black magic.